Hi, my name's Lee Matthews and I'm a physiotherapist and I'm part of the pain management team at Queen's Hospital. This part of the stretching section is exercises that can be done in laying. And I'm obviously laying in my garden, but for you it'd be aimed for you to be laying at home in your bed. When you're doing stretches, you want to be in a warm environment, you need to have freedom of movement, so if you have got a duvet, pull it back and do it with just on the bed. If you can get on and off of the floor, then that's absolutely fine, but don't go putting yourself at risk just to do these stretches because it can be a bit counterproductive. And with all of these videos, we've always started by doing a warm-up. We're going to do that in standing in just a moment. I want you to work with what's right for you. You feel the stretch, you might get pops and creaks, that's fine, but if you get any severe sharp pains, if you get pain that's elevated and persists for long after you've done the stretch, then it might be you're pushing too hard. So remember to relax when you're doing these things, remember to breathe, and if you're feeling unsure about things, stick with the easier options. It might be you just do a few of these stretches to begin with and build up to doing the whole video, and it might be that to begin with you just do them a few times a week and then eventually end up doing them each day. Ideally we'd be encouraging you to do some sort of stretching twice a day because we know it lubricates the joints, we know that it eases muscle tension, we know that over time it can allow you more freedom of movement and make it easier to get through your normal day. So let's start by doing our warm-up movements. To begin with, we'll do some shoulder rolling. First of all, 5 nice shoulder rolls going backwards. And then change that to the opposite direction, rolling your shoulders forwards. And the next in our warm-up sequence is poking the chest out, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then relax. One more time. That's good. And then we've got the good old nodding dog, so making some small nodding movements, bringing the head over one way, and then to the opposite side. We'll do 2 of each of these as well. There we go. Have a chair with you if you need to, but we're going to do that movement of rotation now. So my feet are a little bit further apart and swaying from side to side. So when I do the stretches in a moment, one thing I have got, I didn't say at the start, is I've got a luggage strap thing to just help me with some of the stretches. You don't have to have it, but even if you've got a belt or I don't know, anything that you can just use to put around your leg that might just help to give an extra stretch there, give a bit more support. That's good. Next one we're going to do either with your arms across you or elbows. I'm going to look directly in front of me now, and that's that rotation movement more for our rib cage area. 3, 5. That's good. Give those arms a shake. And again, if you need to hold on to something with this one, you can do. But this is that movement of circling the ankle. So my heel is on the ground, and I'm making some circles. First of all, one way. And then let's swap direction and do the same the other way. And then swap over to the other side and the same again. And then swap direction. We've got those ankle pumps as well, so you might be doing these in standing with a chair in front of you, or you might be sat in the chair and just using the chair for more support. That's fine, or even sat on the edge of your bed doing them. There we go. And then last of all, give the leg a little shake like you've got a stone in your shoe. So we're now going to move on to the actual stretches themselves, and you can be laying on your bed for these. Let's lay ourselves down, and I'm using a yoga block, but you might have a folded towel, you might have a pillow, whatever works for you. Now, the first stretch we're going to do is for the hamstrings, and as I said before, it might be that you've got a luggage strap or something at hand. So to stretch my hamstrings, what we can do, if I bring my knee up towards the sky, so it's a 90-degree angle here, and then I can try and straighten the leg, and in that position you might even wave hello with your foot there. And the way you can use the strap is just using that to give some support there, help to give you some more leverage. So whatever feels right for you, but we slowly open the knee up, and you'll feel that stretch on the back leg. You'll probably feel your quads doing some work. So I'm going to do another one of those. There we go. Feel that stretch. And we can make it harder by straightening the leg, but I would say if you're not sure, keep that knee bent on the other side there. And if you wanted to wave hello with your foot, you'd be more than welcome to. And let's do the same on the other side. So again, I'll bring my knee up to that 90-degree angle, so it's pointing straight up to the ceiling, straight up to the sky, and then I straighten my knee a little bit. And then if you want to wave hello with your foot, then you certainly can. Let's bend the knee and bring that down again, and we'll do that one more time. So here we go. I'll bring the leg up, and back down again. That's good. So we're now going to do a movement of hugging one knee to the chest and then the other. I would point out, if you've got joint replacement, like a hip replacement, they're only designed to go a certain distance. So you just need to be a lot more sensible if you've had a hip replacement, just go into that 90-degree angle. But for the rest of you, either taking the knee up towards the chest, I can either support underneath the thigh and pull inwards. You're going to feel that stretch deep into the groin there around the hip area, and you might feel it in your low back. And if your knees aren't too bad and you wanted an extra stretch for your knee, you can actually hold on the front of the shin there and add an extra stretch. And then back down again. We'll do the same on that leg. So either holding on the thigh or on the front of the shin. And we can increase the stretch further by having the leg straight. But again, I'd always say, just stick with the easier option if you're not sure. See how you feel about that. And back down, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And again, with my luggage strap, I can use that to give some extra leverage there if I'm not sure. So either hugging from there with your hand or with the strap, or the other thing is just using the hand on the front of the shin. If you've got a grumbly knee, pulling on it can sometimes be a little bit irritable. So if you're not sure, just focus on the hip for the stretch and hug that inwards. That's good. And then back down again. An additional stretch that we can do in laying is rolling the knees from side to side. It's going to be quite a nice one when your back feels quite stiff in the morning when you wake up. So in this position, my knees are bent, I bring my feet and my toes together, and what I can do is just bring the knees over to one side and then back over to the other. And it can just help to ease muscle spasm and tension. And it might be just a small movement you do, side to side. And notice I'm not really holding this one for 10, it's just a gentle mobilising movement. And then the last one or two that you do, you might go all the way over and try and get the bottom cheek off of the bed. And then back to the middle. And the same to the other side. And again to each side. So the next movement we're going to do is a stretch for the hips, and what I can do for this one is I bring my leg down towards the floor, and I'm going to bring it out and over to the side there until I start to feel a stretch on the inside of the thigh there. So I can let the leg rest heavily, but my toes are pointing up towards the ceiling still, and I can feel the stretch on the inside of the thigh, and then back in again, and one more time. And then when we've done that on one side, let's do the same on the other. This is where I might end up in the flower bed. And back in. And the same. So this is a movement that can help to stretch the inside of the thigh out. And this is important for getting into the bed, getting into cars. We need that movement, that flexibility. And back in. Now we're going to do a stretch where we walk the legs further apart from each other and just feel that stretch on the inside of the thighs. If you feel comfortable with that, you can even use your hands to add an extra stretch. And then relax. And one more time. And back in. And then keeping that start position for the next stretch, I can roll the knees in towards each other. So my feet are at the edges of the mat there. They're quite wide apart and my knees have come into the middle together there. And I hold that position. And relax. And one more time. And then I can do the opposite of that. So I'm going to bring my feet into the middle of the midline there. So together my knees, my feet are touching one another, and I let the knees drop out to the sides. My heels are together, and I feel that deep stretch into the inside of the thigh again there. And back up, and the same again. And back up. And for our next stretch, we're going to have a really big stretch for our feet and for our hands where we stretch out. So I'll lay myself down on my back. And here we go. I'm going to bring my arms up and over, my toes and my fingers as far away from me as I can, and really try and spread your toes, spread your fingers apart as wide as you can, and then back in again. And the same again. So bring the legs away from you, point the toes, point your fingers, stretch as far as you can, spread your fingers and toes apart, feel that stretch, and then relax again. That's great. So if we want to stretch the front of our thighs in laying, you can do that laying on your side or you can lay on your front. And again, it's one where this strap might be useful. If I do it laying on my side, what I'm looking to try and do is bend the knee and have something around my ankle. And I'm looking to pull the foot towards the bottom there. I hold and relax, and then I do the same again. And then whatever you've done on one side, do the same on the other. And again. So there's one last stretch I want to do, and it's a prayer position. Again, it's a nice stretch for the back and for the shoulders. So I'm going to start off on all fours. I'm going to have my knees apart slightly, and I'm just going to go down and feel that stretch into the back. And it might be one that's a little bit too challenging for some of you, but it's a really nice stretch. Some of those muscles into the shoulders and in the back that can get quite stiff and tight otherwise. And back up again, and one more time. And back up again. And that's the end of our stretches. Hopefully they're of some use to you. This section predominantly is more for your legs and your thigh muscles and your hips. So hopefully between this video and some of the others that are more about your neck and shoulders or your back, you'll get a nice well-rounded stretching program, and if you do a few of each of them throughout your week, then hopefully over time that can help you to move more freely and you have more good days and fewer bad days. So thanks for watching and take care.